Hey, it's Zane. Welcome back. Hope you're having an awesome day. Now, in this video, I want to share with you what I believe are 4 of the biggest mistakes people make in Bitcoin. And I don't want you to make these mistakes. It's really important that if you have a time horizon, let's say 10 to 15 years, and you've chosen Bitcoin as a vehicle to help you retire comfortably, set yourself up for life, hopefully leave a financial legacy for your family, your kids, if that's a goal of yours, whatever it might be, you've got to make sure you do this right. And, I'm in a unique position in that every single week I meet with people from all walks of life, people who I've never met before, who book one-on-one coaching calls with me, and they're just looking for guidance. Sometimes these people have made some of the mistakes I'm going to share with you. Other times they're brand new and they don't want to make any mistakes. They want to get off on the right foot and just want the shortest path to success, without any friction, without any mistakes, without any setbacks. And so based on all of that and what I've learned, over the last 6 months of doing essentially hundreds of one-on-one calls, you get to notice patterns and you get to understand, the common threads in everything. And so from that, I want to share with you these 4 big mistakes, because wherever you're at on your Bitcoin journey, I think that every single day is an opportunity for you to reinforce your understanding, your belief about Bitcoin, and also, to just realize that, it's important to be aware that it's easy to make mistakes, and Bitcoin is an asset where life is so much better if you can avoid these mistakes and kind of learn from, other people's mistakes if possible. So let's get into this conversation today, and please share your comments in the comments section below. Any other mistakes as we get through this, perhaps that you think I've missed, that you've experienced. I'd love to hear them. First thing I want to say is that most people who fail in Bitcoin, they don't fail because of Bitcoin. They fail because of their own mistakes. It's not Bitcoin that's the problem, it's people that are the problem. And so you have to understand that if you're trying to utilize Bitcoin as a vehicle that it's been designed for, a decentralized, opt-out form of fixed, finite, global money, a monetary protocol that is inherently deflationary, that's designed to actually make your life better, you don't want to make these mistakes, okay? This leads me to mistake number 1, and that is people are uneducated. So not studying Bitcoin is a mistake. Getting into Bitcoin for the wrong reasons is a mistake. Thinking that Bitcoin is a tech stock or a share or some kind of an instrument for, gambling, a complete mistake. So you have to do what is known as proof of work, and that means that you've got to be prepared to go to some level of educating yourself beyond just, a 5 or a 10-minute conversation. And typically what that looks like, in my mind, is making a commitment to yourself to read a couple of books, listen to a few detailed, long form podcasts, maybe watch some documentaries, whatever it might be. There are so many resources out there. Pretty much everything that there is to learn about Bitcoin you can find on YouTube or on Audible, on Amazon. Anything you need to know you can find if you want to learn about this. But you've got to commit yourself to learning. Now, I would suggest that reading The Big Print by Lawrence Lepard is a great first step. closely followed by reading The Bitcoin Standard by Safedin Ammous. That's a great step. I would suggest other books such as Parallel by Brian DeMint, great book. And then there's a bunch of documentaries out there you can find on YouTube, long form podcasts, so many awesome channels out there. Two of my favorite people to listen to in Bitcoin, I never get sick of listening to these guys, are Jeff Booth and Tony Yazbek, Tony being the founder of the Bitcoin Way. And there's reasons for that, because these guys understand Bitcoin at a really deep level, such that they share all of the factors that drive Bitcoin, not just the number go up narrative that is kind of the main attractive feature of Bitcoin that kind of draws most people to it in the beginning. Yes, that's attractive. Yes, that's invigorating. Yes, that's exciting. Yes, that gives you and I an opportunity to really accelerate our wealth to amazing levels when you compare it to traditional assets. But you also have to understand the deeper side of Bitcoin around your ability to be self-sovereign, to protect your financial security and privacy and all of these other things that really don't get spoken about enough. And when you listen to people who are really prepared to openly share about all of those other sides of Bitcoin, you realize how holistically designed and engineered this protocol is to not just solve the problem of inflation, but to also solve the problem of central banking, government overreach, surveillance, all of the things that are coming, digital IDs, carbon credit scores, all of these crazy things that are coming down the pike. Bitcoin is the solution to all of that, because ultimately it gives you and I the opportunity to protect our money in a completely self-sovereign way if you do it correctly. So mistake number one is not studying Bitcoin, which means that education is your edge. Education is the thing that is going to see you through for the long haul. Mistake number two, trying to time the market. Trying to time the market. This is a big, big mistake. And I've lost count of how many people who I've met on my coaching calls who have made this mistake and regret making it. And the reason they regret making it is because they think or thought that they could sell their stack. People have had, quite modest stacks of Bitcoin, trying to sell it at the top, cash in, and then wait for a market correction and then buy back, hoping that they'll have more Bitcoin than they began with. And in theory, that sounds great. But in reality, it's very, very, very difficult to do. And even some of the finest traders on earth have been very open about the fact that it's one of the hardest things to do, and it's not a recommended strategy for acquiring more Bitcoin. It's just there's more chance that you're going to end up with less than you started with, particularly when you consider if you're in a jurisdiction where you need to pay capital gains tax on that disposal of that asset. You've got to factor that into the equation as well. Bitcoin is a very, very difficult asset to try and time the market with, so please don't do that. All you need to be thinking about is your Satoshi stacking targets or your Bitcoin stacking targets, and don't think too much about the price. Just think about what it's going to take for you to reach each milestone on your journey. And that mindset is a far more productive mindset than one that is kind of gripped by anxiety or fear or uncertainty and doubt, trying to time the market. Okay, you're not going to care if the market had a price dip by 5, 10, 15, 20% in 10 years. It's going to look like such a tiny blip on a price chart. It will make no difference to your life whatsoever. But what will make a difference is if you continually sit on the sidelines and pay so much attention to these daily price movements that it becomes a fixation that prevents you from just stepping up to the plate, pushing the buy button, taking your Bitcoin into self-custody, and then stepping up to the plate to do it again, regardless of the price. That there is a far more powerful mindset to do this, rather than always being fearful that you're not going to time this right. I can't emphasize that enough. It's the way I've approached it. And I think that those who have approached it that way are the ones that are here for the long haul, and they're the ones that are going to benefit most from this great wealth transfer and this great shift and transition that we're right in the middle of right now. So, mistake number 2 is to try to time the market. It's very, very difficult to do. Save yourself the anxiety and just play the long game, because this is where the wealth and the generational wealth is going to be created. Number 3, not taking self-custody of your Bitcoin. I can't tell you how many people who I meet who still haven't taken this step. And it's not that they don't want to take this step, it's just that they haven't gotten around to it, or it's not yet a priority, or they feel anxious about it. Maybe they don't trust themselves. They're not used to being their own bank. And I understand all of these things. And I know that when I first was moving into self-custody, I was also a little bit nervous about it because I'd never done it before. But like anything that you do for the first time, it's a little bit foreign at first. And it is a little bit nerve-wracking, particularly when you're dealing with your money. But it's just one of these things that you have to trust that everything's going to be okay. It's very difficult to stuff this up, okay? The only thing that'll stuff it up is if you don't pay attention to the ultimate thing that gives you access to your Bitcoin on the blockchain, and that is your private key, your 12 or your 24 word seed phrase. And so this is the thing you have to be treating most carefully with. And in the same way, your PIN number for your credit card or your cash card, for your ATM card, whatever it might be, your bank account, you'd need to treat it with probably different layers or levels of security above that. But so long as you've got that done, you're good. Nothing can go wrong. Your wallet could blow up, you could lose your phone, your computer, the application that you're using could go out of business. None of that would mean that you've lost your Bitcoin, provided that you're practicing the right protocol around securing your seed phrase. Okay, so there's a misconception out there where people feel or believe or understand that what if I lose my phone, or what if I lose my computer, or what if it gets stolen, or what if the application I'm using no longer exists, ceases to operate. None of those things matter. What matters is you've got access to your seed phrase, and on that basis you can restore your Bitcoin on any wallet, okay? Because the software that is used to generate that seed phrase is a native piece of software to the Bitcoin blockchain, not to the device or the application that you're using, the wallet itself. It's not specific to that. It's a generic software that is interchangeable between Bitcoin wallets. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the company that you're engaging or utilizing for your Bitcoin wallet going out of business. Okay, such an important thing to keep in mind. Most people don't realize that. But self-custody is the true revolution, because this is the thing that enables you to be your own bank, to be self-sovereign, to be completely financially autonomous and detached, to be completely globally financially portable, to be uncensorable, to not have to ask for permission to access your money, to have no counterparties to your financial life. And when you really start rattling through all of those benefits, and you start doing that against the backdrop of your current assets that you hold, that's going to start to switch on some light bulbs for you. Particularly now, when you can see that a lot of these legacy assets, we've got no control over how heavily they're taxed. Look at real estate, rates, land tax. These things are just going up and up and up every single year. We have no say in it. You know, it doesn't matter whether we've been able to budget for it or not. Those bills land on our desk and we just have to pay them. Absolutely no say in that whatsoever. There's people in Victoria I speak to who have big real estate holdings, and guess what? They're liquidating everything because they can see that they're being strangled to death, and that this is an attack on their holdings, on their assets. And so what are they doing? They're getting out of it, and they're rotating their capital into something where that cannot be done, and that, of course, is Bitcoin. So taking Bitcoin into self-custody is the ultimate way to hold Bitcoin, because it's the only thing that gives you the ability to be financially self-sovereign. Really important to understand. Don't get nervous about it. There's levels to self-custody. You just need to start at level 1. Once you've done it a couple of times and you've just with a small amount of money, it could be a few $100s, moving a few $100s worth of Bitcoin from an exchange to your self-custodial wallet. It could be just a hot wallet, a software wallet that you download from the App Store. Do that for the first time, do that a couple of times. All of a sudden you'll realize, wow, this is quite a liberating little system here. Now I have uncensorable peer-to-peer money in my back pocket now that I can take with me anywhere. That gives you some confidence. Maybe then you'll move to a hardware wallet where you've got an encrypted cold storage device. You bring that into your setup. After that, then you'll probably go to running a node as your stack grows, because you want privacy over your transactions. You also want to participate in the ongoing integrity and decentralization of the Bitcoin network. You also want to not just trust, but you want to be able to verify at all times that Bitcoin that's coming into your wallet is real Bitcoin. All of these features are things that you'll learn as time goes on, but it's just really important to realize that the true revolution here is not number go up, it's actually freedom go up, which means that you have to be the custodian of your Bitcoin. All right, so don't make the third mistake, which is not embracing self-custody. Please don't make that mistake. And the fourth and final mistake that I want to leave you with today is selling your Bitcoin. This is a big mistake, and there's so many different reasons for this, and I could make an entire video about this one topic alone. First thing I'll say is, why would you sell the world's best performing asset for the world's worst? Why would you sell an asset that is CAGRing at 50 to 60% a year, compound annual growth rate, for an asset being the dollar that is cratering at 10, 12% a year, losing value? It just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The only reason to do that is if you have debt and your Bitcoin stack, and after you take into account the tax implications of selling your Bitcoin, if you've got some debt that is a problem in your life and one of your missions is to absolutely clear that debt, I understand that's a great goal for a lot of people, just to be debt free. I'm a big fan of that. I would say that in a situation like that, you really have to assess it closely, but maybe that is one good reason to sell a portion of your Bitcoin. I certainly wouldn't sell all of it, but if you have enough and you've generated enough, profit from your Bitcoin in order to be able to sell it, pay your taxes on it, and then clear some debt, maybe that is a good reason to do it. For the sake of just benefiting from a 5x, 10x, 12x, 15x, whatever it might be, no, I would not suggest that you do that, because now what you're also doing is you're taking yourself back from a decentralized system back into a centralized system. So the very thing that you've been trying to escape, you've now put yourself hook, line and sinker back into that system. And so just a crazy thing to consider, particularly in this environment where banks are becoming more and more difficult. Getting money from banks into exchanges can be a problem with certain institutions. So why would you want to put yourself through that again? It just makes zero sense to me. We are transitioning into a circular economy. You will have the opportunity to utilize your Bitcoin in the future. Please just be patient. Just stay the course. The name of the game right now is to just buy, stack, and chill. Take it into self-custody. Don't get shaken out of the market. Remember why you're here, and just keep your eye on the future and on the prize, because the world is going to open up for you as a Bitcoiner. As a Bitcoiner, you're going to have options that people who are ignoring this are not going to have. Okay, so I want to leave it there today. Just to quickly recap the 4 mistakes. Number 1, not studying Bitcoin is a problem. Make sure you educate yourself consistently. Stay educated. Keep your mindset right around this. Number 2, trying to time the market is a mistake. Don't do that. Set up your stacking targets. Just be confident, disciplined, proactive, consistent, and just lean in no matter what the price is, and then make sure that you don't avoid self-custody. Realize that this is the true revolution, and just learn about self-custody. It's not hard, it's just new, and build your confidence around that. Book a session with me. I can guide you on the best way to approach that based on where you're at and your what your goals may be. And then number 4 is really think seriously before selling your Bitcoin. Again, I've met many people who have made that mistake and wish that they hadn't have done that. And it's not a time, in my view, to be doing that right now unless you have really compelling reasons to do it. So I hope you got some value from that today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you'd like to book a session with me, if you're ready to take action on any of this, I can answer all your questions. I can help you with the simple next best steps for you based on where you're at. You'll see a link in the show notes below and in the comments section. You can book a one-on-one session with me. I'd love to meet you on Zoom. Other than that, have a great day, and I hope you got some insight from that to take with you. This is Zane signing out. Bye for now.